the Sunday Racing Club to collabs with Formula Fools. Graphic designer extraordinaire, entrepreneur, and all-round awesome human being. I have a very special guest with me today in the second seat, Chloe from Studio Ascari. Welcome, mate. It's lovely to see you again.
Yes, you too. And that was a fantastic intro. You're too kind.
No, not at all. It's all true. All true.
Thank you.
Yeah. How have you been?
Yeah, good. How have you been?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. I'm really excited to have you on the podcast. It's been a little while coming now. It's been challenging with the chaos that you've been telling me about.
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep up with it amongst everything that you're doing with your day job versus Studio Ascari now, post the transition from Sunday Racing Club, and then the work in the women's field that you've recently done as well, which has been lovely to hear about. But I think before we dive into the host of things that we're going to discuss tonight, I think most people, if they don't know who you are, would love to learn. So the first question I have for you is, you started with the Sunday Racing Club. You're now Studio Ascari.
Yes.
Quick tangent. It's also Alberto Ascari's birthday today, if you weren't aware. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's something I probably should know.
No, that's okay. I thought it was a wonderful little piece of trivia. But on that note, how did it start? How did the brand start, and how did the transition from Sunday Racing Club to Studio Ascari come about?
Yeah, so Sunday Racing Club started because I sort of noticed that there was a bit of a gap in the market. Like, I love merch, like, and teamwear and things like that, but I also struggle particularly with F1. There's so many teams and drivers that I like, and I didn't really want to lock myself in just to one. And then also in my everyday life, like, I am very like bland and plain. I don't have a lot of color in my wardrobe, and I mean, that's just who I am. But there was nothing that really fitted me in the F1 or motorsport space. So yeah, I sort of came up with the idea, and prior to Sunday Racing Club, I had a little Christmas label called the Christmas Club. So sort of like a club themed kind of thing. So yeah, it started from there. It was just going to be a little side project. But yeah, it took off a bit more than what I expected. Did unfortunately have another brand who decided to use Sunday Racing Club and then tried to trademark it, which effectively would have meant that I couldn't use it anymore. Luckily, I did catch that and managed to oppose it, and I was successful. So it's now mine. Which a lot of my products have Sunday Racing Club on them. But it just felt a little bit tainted from there, almost having that as my brand name. So I kind of just wanted a bit of a refresh, which is where, yeah, Studio Ascari came in. It sounds so stupid, but I just really like the word Ascari. I like that it's Alberto Ascari, and like Albert Park is, the Australian track. And the stupidest part is I like that Ascari has the word car in it. So it kind of all linked together. Yeah, so yeah, I just liked how that all kind of went together, and I just kind of thought, I don't know, it also, not that I want to mask it, but it does mask the motorsport theme a little bit. So like Sunday Racing Club, some people might turn away and be like, oh, I'm not really into motorsport, like, doesn't align with me, sort of thing. But Studio Ascari and being able to have pieces with like Ascari and things on it kind of hides it in there a little bit more, and people might not know. And I think that that's sort of a good thing too, because it just gets more people, sort of involved in it. So, but yeah, that's how that all came about.
That's a really lovely answer, and I love the breakdown in terms of the little pieces that you've pulled out, like Alberto Ascari and Albert Park, and pulling car out of Ascari and things like that. Like, there are lots of little things that mean something to you from a brand perspective, but for someone looking for symbols and looking at the more subtle approach that you've taken to the brand, with the, if you know, you know type thing, I think that's wonderful, right? Like, that's really lovely. So the Sunday Racing Club thing sat well with me because I love my motorsport as well. And
Yeah.
As you've seen, my family and I have all got that. But the Studio Ascari brand, in my mind, sits really well, and I think it puts a nice level of like boutique against it too. So you can,
Yeah.
yeah. So I love it. And I as you see, like I'm obviously wearing matching jumpers tonight, so it's great. The Alberto Ascari piece is a good segue. What I wanted to ask you as well was, outside of your own merchandise, is there a driver or an era from motorsport? It doesn't have to be F1 that shows up in your own wardrobe.
Not really. I kind of completely stayed separate from that just because I know what I'm like. I'll buy things with color and I'll be like, yeah, I'll wear this. And then I'm just not a colorful person. So, no, yeah, not really. But if I had to, if I was going to, I am definitely a Charles Leclerc girl. So
Yeah.
it would definitely be something to do with probably Ferrari, or I can't turn my back on Oscar Piastri either. So I could probably incorporate a little bit of red or orange in there somewhere, but it would only be mine.
Not going to get Charles's 2026 Monaco hat. It's that lovely ivory with some red trimming.
Yeah,
Nice and
look,
subtle.
it is quite nice. He actually, his own brand is, I look at it
Yeah.
like, oh damn, he's up there. If there was one driver that I was probably going to wear, it would actually probably be him. I did see that he's bought out a beach towel as well, which I thought that was a bit of an interesting
Oh,
choice. But yeah, I mean, each to their own. But yeah, probably something from Charles' collection if I was going to go, yeah, down
yeah.
that. Never say never. I might, because yeah, I love his stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's fair. He's also about to release a 16-year-old single malt
Oh,
whiskey with
really?
Shivers Regal. Yeah, early next month. So
Ooh.
I'm like hanging on the
Yeah.
bit to get to that. So um, you spoke about the color piece and whatnot with the official merch side, and how you identified the gap there, and I think that's a really positive thing, particularly because looking even today, a standard polo for Red Bull is upwards at normal retail upwards of $200, right? And that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So, um, I think you're onto something really really good with the quality that your merchandise
Yeah. Yeah.
brings, and at the cost as well. Like, yeah, your the two shirts that I've got from you and this jumper are probably three of my favorite pieces, and I tend to wear that second seat shirt pretty much worn in every episode since. But coming into winter, I've had to sort of
Yeah.
light it up a little bit because the house is a little bit cool. So, um, but what I wanted to ask was, or talk about, is a little bit of the evolution. So we spoke about starting off with the Sunday Racing Club and some of the challenges you had there, and the clean start that Studio Ascari, from a brand and marketing perspective, has brought you. But has there been much shift or evolution from a merchandise perspective going from Sunday Racing Club into Studio Ascari? Is there a new look or a new feel?
Um,
That sort of thing.
there has been a bit, and that was another reason I wanted to change a little bit. When I first started Sunday Racing Club, like I was just going at my own pace, and like I was just sort of plodding along a bit, which is fine, and I was totally happy with that. But when this other brand came about, it made me panic, and so I was rushing my designs. I wasn't really thinking. Not that I wasn't thinking things through, but I wasn't necessarily producing things that I was 100% proud of. It was more or less, I like, time is of the essence. Just got to get it out before they do, so it doesn't look like I'm the one copying, even though I 100% wasn't. Um, so looking back on my earlier designs now, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, like I don't hate them, but I'm definitely like, there should have been some more development there. And so some of the designs that I originally started off with, I still have them in my collection, but I've evolved and adjusted it a little bit, so that I'm more happy with it, and I'm like actually proud to give that to someone. Not that I wasn't necessarily proud before, but I just didn't feel 100% about it, and it just didn't feel right with me giving someone a product that I wasn't sort of 100% with. So that was another reason for wanting to change as well, because then that sort of, yeah, gave me the option a little bit to change things a bit more, and it not be so weird for me to just start changing things all of a
Mm.
sudden. But yeah, that's, yeah, what that is.
No, that's good. And as a customer, I can tell you, you should be proud. Like it's
Thank
great
you.
stuff. We love it. My boys love running around in their black shirts as well. So um, you alluded to it a little bit there in terms of um, the plodding along or running your own race, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
As an Aussie small business, one of the things I've noticed for your brand in particular is, you do everything very deliberately. Uh, Everything's made to order, type thing. What I wanted to understand for both myself and the audience is that a values based choice? Is it a scale based choice, in terms of not having the space and warehousing and whatnot? So there's a reality to the logistics and operations side there, or both.
It's a bit of both. I'm very lucky that my everyday job is in apparel design, and I have very supportive bosses there. So um, they allow me to use all our machinery and technology and everything at my everyday work for Studio Ascari.
Mm,
So that is super helpful, because then that does mean that I've got all the resources already there. I don't need to rely on factories to mass produce for me,
mm,
because a lot of the reason that factories will mass produce, or which is absolutely fine if you go through a factory and get things produced, but they'll have minimum order quantities, and the minimums are generally because the setup takes so long, so it needs to be worth that factory's while.
yeah,
So it can be a bit of a pain sometimes when I am doing orders, because again the setup is quite long if I'm just doing one at a
mm,
time. But like, it's absolutely fine at the end of the day, and it's something that I like to do, because then I also have like control over the quality of it. um it also gives me a little bit of pride as well, like not just to say like, oh yeah, I made this, but like I actually did make it. Like I designed it, I didn't sew the garment, but like I've learned how to use the embroidery machine and things like
mm,
that, or I've printed the prints and actually applied them myself. And I like being hands on in that aspect. But yeah, it's also great that I don't have to hold stock. And then I feel like that alleviates some pressure on me as well, because then I'm not constantly in the rat race of I've got to get this moving, I've got to get this going. Like, it can just be like I can go at my own pace. Because obviously this is just something I do on the side. If one day this did become a full-time thing, that would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm very privileged that I've got it set up that the way that I do have it. And then, yeah, I don't have to have everything made. I don't have to be trying to sell constantly. And it can just be people just see it and they want it. Sure, I can just get it on the machine for you. Having said that, I don't want it. Oh, it's hard to explain. I have introduced recently quantities to each design, which is just something that only I can see in the back end. Just so it's not like my designs are there sort of forever. Like,
mm.
I need to have like a little bit of exclusivity to them, I guess. And then that way that keeps me creative as well. And I'm not just sitting being like, oh, I've got some designs there. Like, it's fine. It actually, yeah, lights a bit of a fire in me. So I have to keep going as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's great just being able to have control over it at the moment.
yeah, I bet. And just for clarity on the quantity piece, when you say that, are you looking at something going, here's a design, I'm going to allow 50 items of it total to sell, and then it's sort of off the shelf forever from a design
Yeah,
perspective?
yeah,
Yeah,
something,
cool.
yeah, sort of like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
because
I
I
like
did,
that.
yeah, I did find as well when I was doing when I was Sunday Racing Club, I didn't have any quantities or anything like that. And then I did notice that I had just kind of sat back a little bit, and there was nothing sort of, not nothing, but there was no like real push for me to release new designs, because it was just like, oh
Mm,
yeah, I've got them there.
yeah,
But having said that, I haven't, there's still a lot that I need to work out. I haven't worked out yet if I want to bring out ranges like seasonally or like half yearly or whatever,
yeah,
because again, making to order, and like I don't want to add too much to my plate, I guess, like setting myself things like that.
yeah.
So it's nice being able to be like, right, these will be the quantities. Maybe I'll just have a couple of designs up my sleeve, so once they sell out, I can just like move this one in. And yeah, but that might change. I'm a bit all over the place, to be honest, with what I'm
No, no,
doing. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm at the moment.
yeah. I can completely understand where you're coming from. Like that control piece is important because it means a lot to you. You can hear it in the way you're talking about it and the way you present the work and things like that. And um, I like to think of it from what you've said is, the made to order piece means that every item that you're sending out has a little bit of Chloe in it.
Yeah.
You know, um, and I think that means something certainly for myself, but I think that'll mean a lot to your customers and the audience and whatnot. And I mentioned Formula Fools guys at the start, and I certainly know he's talking to Dave that he loves um, the quality and whatnot of
Yeah.
of your stuff too. So it certainly comes across in what we're getting at the consumer end. So,
Oh, that's
um,
great.
you know, I think you keep going with what you're doing until you feel more comfortable or you feel like you
Yeah.
need to push that bit extra. So, um, one challenge I do want to ask about though is, have you had any issues with intellectual property from an F1 perspective? Um, And has anyone ever pushed back on any of your design work when you've published ideas before you started manufacturing?
Haven't, which I'm very careful because I know how stringent they can be.
Mm,
So I try to stay away from that as much as possible, even like driver names and things like that. Um, it's hard though because they're such an integral part of F1.
mm,
But I do, and that's another reason why I liked Sunday Racing Club, because it's quite broad.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've been very cautious in that aspect, not to sort of cross that line or anything. However, I have noticed now, or so since my whole IP drama with Sunday Racing Club, because I obviously had to enlist the help of a lawyer to assist me with that because
Mm,
that got a bit complicated. She will now alert me when phrases similar to Sunday Racing Club are applied to be trademarked, and we'll just be like, do you want to, like, are you happy with this to be out there, or do you want to fight it and say it's too close to your name? A couple that she sent through have actually been from the Motorsport Distributors Group, which is who does all the
ah,
F1 merch.
mm,
So and it may not be related, but I don't believe they had anything trademarked before my whole trademarking saga.
yeah,
So I do find that interesting that they're um, taking more responsibility on their IP side of things. So I know
yeah,
that they've trademarked Sundays are for racing.
yeah.
No one is supposed to use that now except for them. There was something else that was very similar, and as soon as like she sent it through and I seen who it was, I was like, I'm not even going to try and fight them. Like they've got way too much money.
Yeah.
It's just enough. Like um, yeah, like I'm not going to go after people like, especially like little Etsy sellers or whatever, who may be using Sunday Racing Club and may not know about me. That's fine. Like
Yeah.
everyone, there is a space for everyone. Where there isn't a space is where people deliberately try to take something away from you. And that's
Yeah.
where I draw the line. So I'm not going to go around like being like, you can't use this, you can't use this, unless you know about me and it's out of spite, essentially. So
Yeah.
even, yeah, similar things like, yeah, even if it wasn't the Motorsport Distributors Group, if it was someone else that was, and it was Sundays Alpha Racing, like that's different. That's fine.
Mm.
Like, it's I essentially had to do Sunday Racing Club to protect myself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't have, yeah, probably even worried about it really. But yeah,
Yeah. No, I can appreciate that, and must have been an extremely challenging and frustrating time going through that process. So I can definitely empathize with wanting to bring others into this space. Certainly sitting on this side and looking at some of the other content creators and whatnot, and trying to support as many people as I can.
yeah,
I think it is important that we share. There is enough room for other creators and other fans of all backgrounds. So A, I applaud you for sticking up for yourself, but B, for still having the empathy to look out for other small businesses and small creators and whatnot as well. I think that's really good, and I think it's lovely.
yeah. Well, like as big as F1 is, the sort of the creator space, it is quite small in some aspects of it. So it's kind of, and especially like an Australian F1 creator, like that gets even
Mm,
smaller. Like we're so segregated from the rest of the world, especially in F1, we get one race a year. Like
yeah,
I think, yeah, it's important. And even like I've had other brands reach out to me, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind helping. And they've like F1 inspired or motorsport inspired brands being like, oh, like I was just wondering, like, what methods do you use for your printing and this and that? And I'm more than happy to help out. Like, that's
yeah,
my expertise. Like, as long as your designs aren't ripping off me, then that's fine. Like,
yeah,
and yeah, this particular person that did reach out, like their designs are incredible, and I was really actually surprised that they were asking me because I was like, "Well, what do you use?" 'Cause,
yeah,
like, I'd love to know what you use, sort of thing. So, yeah, I think, and there's so much learning that everyone can do from like exchanging information and things like that. Um, yeah, I think, yeah, as long as you're not outright trying to stop someone from being their business or who they are or whatever, I think, yeah, there's, yeah, essentially a room for everyone. And that's how it should be. It's a very inclusive community, and that's what I found as well. Like,
yeah,
what, like a year ago or so, I wouldn't have even known you, and now like I met you at the GP, and like
yeah,
last lap Al, she is such a fantastic lady.
yeah,
Like she is like, oh, I just can't even describe the little community that like we've built. Like never in my days would I have thought that like I'd be making friends through the F1 community, like online, and then meeting them in real life and things like
yeah.
that. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a whirlwind. Certainly 6 months, 7 months for me since I started this journey.
Yeah,
So,
crazy.
yeah, it has been absolutely hectic. You mentioned working with other brands. Has that translated into getting noticed? And have you identified any other challenges in getting noticed? Um, as a smaller brand, like has anyone outside of Formula Fools reached out for collabs or to bring you on board in from a
Yeah.
perspective?
So there's something that's very, very early days in the works at the moment. So yeah, we'll
Yay.
see how that goes. Yeah, that's something completely different that I haven't done before. Something that I thought about doing, and then yeah, I was approached, and they were like, "Oh, this might seem a bit random, but we were thinking this," and I was like, "That's not random. I've had that thought for a while, but I just didn't really." Not didn't know how to go about it, but just it's that thing that didn't really have the push to make me do it. And then I was like, we could make something work here. So still got a long way to go with developing that and everything. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. That should be really exciting if we can get that all together. I'm the hold up
Yeah.
at the moment. I need to do a little bit more. So yeah, that'll be really exciting. But yeah, that's all at the moment. But in saying that, I don't want to stretch myself too thin either. So if people approach me, I'm happy to discuss it or whatever. But at this stage, I'm probably not going to be reaching out to people myself. Just
Yeah.
Because I'm also one of those people where I get a great idea, I'm like, yeah, let's go, but then I'll lose interest very quickly. Well, not interest, just like motivation, I guess. And I also have learned that I do take on a lot, and that can be at my own detriment sometimes. So I need to just prioritize a little bit more and make sure I'm not biting off more than I can chew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am excited for what's being worked on at the moment, and then yeah, hopefully other things will come as well. And that's the great thing too, like that
Mm.
what this I don't want to say too much about it, but what this is like, I'd had the thought about it, hadn't really seen it, and then they'd also had the thought about it, and hadn't really seen it either. So to think that we both had the same thought, and then even you sometimes you'll message me and be like, what about this, what about this, what about this? I'm like, they're actually great ideas, like yeah, and I can't even, and that's what I love too. Like you're giving me ideas for things that I can do, and that's not really of like it doesn't really benefit you in any way, sort of thing. Like it's just so wholesome. Which
Yeah.
yeah, I just really like that about yeah the community that we're like sort of built. So yeah.
I mean, benefits me because I'm going to buy it and I'm going to wear it. That's the sort of stuff I want to wear. So
Well, this is true.
there's a little bit of selfishness there, I suppose. But no, you're right. It is, and it is a fantastic little community. The the thing that's been ticking my head is been explaining that. So I was like, be seeing Oscar wearing Studio Ascari at the OzGP next year.
If only. I've got an idea for something that I want to start working on, which would be more aimed towards the wags, if anything. But even
Okay.
then, like, it's more my style. Like, I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think it's not classy enough for them, I guess. But yeah, that would be amazing if one day a driver or wag or even like Nicole Piastri was wearing something. That would be so cool. But I don't have
Yeah.
any expectations, sort of thing. So yeah, if that happens one day, that would be amazing. But if not, I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah. Um, that's fair. We've spoken a lot about community so far. Um, I have it on good authority that Travis Ull, the CEO of the OzGP Corporation, is also a fan of your gear,
Yes.
which is incredible. That's a huge shout out. So
Yeah.
thank you, Travis. We're all on board, mate, with your comments. Uh, outside of that moment, um, is there another customer moment that's really stuck out for you and in a positive or a negative way, hopefully positive, that sort of validated what you're doing and the path that you're taking?
Not really like any individual, like not a specific person, but every single order that comes through, I still get like, oh, I can't believe someone wants to like wear my clothes. Like it's hard to explain. Like I know that like yeah on my website and I'll do like reviews, or obviously I'll do reviews that like people have that have purchased from me. I'll post like little reviews and stuff. That's a little bit of a like, we are a legit like company. um but yeah, I wouldn't say that there's any sort of one customer that I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe like they're wearing it, because it's sort of that feeling every time someone buys something. Like
Yeah.
maybe again, maybe if an F1 driver or a wag or a relative or that, it would be a little bit more up there. But yeah, otherwise like everyone else is pretty much just on level playing field. Like I can't believe it every order I get. So
Yeah.
everyone feels special to me.
There you have it, folks. We're all on level playing field, even with the F1 drivers. So
Yeah.
we'll beat them out. Um, okay, well that's good. I think that leads into my sort of final question on this space before we might talk about Spa, if you're okay with that, and the next race or what's been happening this season. But what's next for Studio Ascari, and what does success look like for you in sort of 12 months to 5 years time?
Success to me in like regards to Studio Ascari is just a constant flow of orders. Like I haven't put enough pressure on myself that I'm like, I need to meet this KPI. I need to do this. I need to do this many orders or however much. Like, I'm just trying to take it quite easy, and just as it comes, sort of thing. That might change, and it's probably not the best business sense. I probably should have more things in place. Um, but yeah, at the moment, I'm just happy going with the flow. I'm happy with any order that comes in. Just trying not to stress myself out about it as well, because when I was going through the whole trademark thing, I did lose my love for it. So it was a little bit hard to get back into that space of loving it again and not forcing it. And obviously, because I'd spent so much money fighting for it, I was like, well, I can't let it go. But that's come back now, which is good. I do have, yeah, some ideas in the works, which are a bit different to anything that I've got currently, and from what I've seen. So I'm still playing around with that. If I do go forward with that, that is again more, there's another manual element to it that I will be doing, but I think that also just adds to it a little bit. But we'll see, because at the same time, running a business, I've got to weigh up cost versus the amount of time that it takes, and it might take me too long to actually be able to do what I want to do. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I guess I do hibernate a little bit in the winter. I'm not a cold girl. I much prefer summer. So I do struggle with motivation for everything in winter. So I have probably, yeah, gone into hibernation mode a little bit at the moment. And I think as it starts to warm up again, I'll start getting the ideas flowing and everything again as well. Um, but yeah, there's just nothing extraordinary, I guess, is on the way. It's just, we're just plodding along still for now. And yeah, got some ideas in the back of my mind. It's just got to actually get them get them into fruition, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I completely understand. I'm the opposite. I love winter.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the cold is I can't. I grew up in Queensland and I can't stand the heat. So,
Oh,
but that's
you're
okay.
crazy.
Mate, here to help. So I can't wait to see what comes next from you and Studio Ascari, whatever it is, whether it's you individually or the future collabs that you have. I think is going to be fantastic. As I said, throughout this, there's a number of people, myself obviously included, but Formula Fools and Travis Ould and a number of other customers, I'm sure that love the quality and the type of thing that you're producing. So really grateful for the work you're doing in that space. But as both self-proclaimed F1 and motorsport fans, we're coming into Spa this week. It's Oscar's favorite track. What I want to know is, do you have a favorite track? And what are your thoughts ahead of the race this weekend?
Oh, I don't think I really do have a favorite track, especially now that all the regulations have changed. Like, everything's just changed so much. And it's so hard to predict. Like, just when you
Mm,
think, or just when I thought that it was going to be Kimi Antonelli dominance for the rest of the season, it's changed again. Which
yeah,
I'm not. I don't have anything against Kimi. I think he's fabulous. But I was starting to get like, oh, this is going to be like this every race. um, so yeah, it's interesting as well, because yeah, all not new tracks, but with the new regulations, the cars haven't been on these tracks before, which makes it a little bit more unpredictable. I
mm,
do enjoy Spa, but it's probably the track that makes me feel a bit like apprehensive, just because of all
yep,
the crashes and things that have happened there before.
yes,
Does
yeah,
make me a little bit nervous. Um, but at the same time, I think that also just adds to it. Like,
yeah,
it's, yeah, probably a little bit more on the dangerous side. So there's a bit more
mm,
risk involved, which does make it a little bit more exciting. But then, yeah, it's very stressful.
yeah, yeah, definitely. From a history perspective, for those that aren't aware, Spa in its current state is a 7K track. It used to be a 14-kilometer track back in the 50s, 60s, and the F1 actually shut it down and removed it from the calendar because I think they had 10 deaths there in the space of it might have been 1 year or a couple of years, something like that. So yeah, there's been a lot of deaths at Spa over the years, and it just continues to highlight the dangers of the sport that we all love. But I think you raised some really good points about Spa as a track, and then the regulations this year in terms of the challenges that the cars have had. Like we saw that with Silverstone, and Spa is going to be very similar again in terms of how the battery management goes and things like that. So I also agree with you on the Kimi Antonelli piece. I like Kimi. My wife is a Kimi fan. The Kimi Kazi limited edition hats and things. She saw one. She's like, "You need to get me that." So Jodie was actually telling me to wear it, and I was like, "No, I can't wear the hat because the light on my ring light's broken." So it caused too much shade. So, but yeah, so I think you're right. It would have got very monotonous watching Mercedes win, particularly after the 2014 to sort of 2020, 2021 era, how dominant they were in that space. But so it's been good in my mind to see a couple of extra winners come along in Lewis and Charles. So and Lando from a sprint perspective. But if we were to pick someone right now to win the drivers and constructors championship, who do you think it would be?
Oh, that's so hard because at the moment everything is sort of leaning towards Kimi probably winning, Mercedes probably winning. It's not necessarily that I don't want that to happen, but I would honestly just really love to see Lewis Hamilton in Ferrari on top. Like that would just be like chef's kiss. I think if that happened, or I mean, I can't speak for him, but if that happened, it wouldn't surprise me if he then retired, like finishing like just it's kind of like the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Ferrari is that everyone dreams of driving a Ferrari, sort of thing. So yeah, that would be what I would want to happen, but I don't necessarily think that that's going to happen. But at the same time, having said that, because I'm a Charles girl, I would hate for Lewis to top Charles. Like Charles has been struggling at Ferrari for so long.
Yeah.
Like he deserves it more than Lewis probably. But I don't know. It's hard because then I feel so bad for the drop in performance that McLaren have had compared to them last year, and I'm like, oh, it's so unfair for Oscar to be so close last year, and some of the team decisions are a bit like, were they in Lando's favour and a bit controversial there, and now it seems he's not even in the running. So can McLaren get back to that point to give him a chance, or is he going to have to swap to another and it just, my brain just goes in too many different directions. But yeah, I think it probably at the moment is looking like Mercedes and probably Kimi. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
I'm on board with a Lewis number 8, and I tend to agree with you as well. I think if he was to win this year, and history's on his side, so he went to McLaren in his second year at McLaren. He won his first title, shifted to Mercedes. There was a big regulations change that coincided with that, similar to now, but second year with Mercedes, won the title. So hopefully history repeats itself again. Big regs change.
He does seem to have found his form again. Like he seemed a bit lost there for a while, but now he seems like he's back, and it looks like he's enjoying it again. Because even last year I was like, I don't know how much longer he's gonna keep going here. Like it doesn't seem like it was a good move.
Yeah, agreed. And I think a lot of people would side with you on the Kimi and Mercedes side too, but we all saw what happened with Oscar last year. Everyone thought it was one and done with him come the summer break type thing. And with you with some of the team decisions, or certainly the perception of team decisions and things like
that's
that.
Probably better wording.
But it's a crazy year, and I think that's what the regs piece does. It's still the top 4 is still a top 4, but the likes of Liam and Arvid are doing quite well in that space too. So, um, yeah. Finally, who do you think, or who's your pick to win at Spa this weekend?
Oh. Ah, I'm gonna say Lewis. I reckon
Yeah.
maybe Lewis.
Okay. I like it. I think it's good. I think there's been some stuff this week from Ferrari and their performance and whatnot, and obviously Silverstone, similar from an energy management perspective, battery management perspective, could see Ferrari come out on top again. So who knows? Forza Ferrari maybe, but
Maybe.
yeah.
I mean, probably Kimi Antonelli, but like, I want Lewis.
Yeah, that's fair. I can understand that. I can appreciate that. The little upstart can wait his turn.
Yeah, yeah. I was so excited at the start, like him breaking all these records. I'm like, yes, you go, Kimmy. Like, this is great. But then I was quickly like, all right, it's time to give someone else a turn.
Yeah, yeah,
But
100%.
he's doing amazing. I don't know how he is so quick. Like, it's just crazy how quick he is.
Yeah, his I mean the car is a rocket ship first and
Oh,
foremost, but his learning curve over the last well, over the off season in particular has been huge. Like he's just stepped up exponentially from last year.
Yeah.
He showed some real glimpses of talent last year with the podium in Canada and things like that. But yeah, this year has been incredible. So
I think
yeah.
last year there were still some doubts that, like, did Mercedes, like, bring him on too soon?
Mm.
But now it's just like, all right, we see what they did there.
Yeah, yeah,
We
exactly.
understand now. There's no doubts left.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, there's been no doubt that I have loved chatting with you tonight. Thank you so very much for coming on and being part of this. I can't wait to share your story and your thoughts and your plans with the world as much as I can. And I can't wait to catch up, hopefully again in person at Melbourne next year.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. Definitely a bit out of my comfort zone. This isn't what I'm used to. So hopefully it's all right. But yeah, I really appreciate being asked, and I appreciate all your support and your purchases and every like and repost and reshare that you do. Like, I notice it, and yeah, I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry I'm not as good returning the favor.
No, no,
I can
don't
be
listen.
very inconsistent with my social media. So yeah, I do see it and I do appreciate it. Yeah, I couldn't ask for better support.
No, that's more than okay, and I don't do it for the reciprocation. I do it because I love the brand and all the work you do. So, and hopefully, everyone listening and everyone seeing this can follow along as well. So, Chloe's
Yeah, and match
brand
with
is,
us.
yeah. So, from a socials perspective, it's at studio.ascari.
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow her along. And if you're not following me along as well, it's at the second seat. So have had a wonderful time chatting with you, Chloe. Thanks everyone for listening. Feel free to send us a message or an email or a DM asking any questions for me or Chloe. Get in touch with her via her page or website as well.
Yep.
And we'll speak to you guys next time. Cheers.